Hello, master lovers. Today I'll be explaining the conjugate of sword, particularly you can see on the board, and the rationalization of sword. With these examples on the board, particularly I have 3 of them. So for those of you that have not subscribed to my channel, I'm saying please click on that subscription button for you to get great content like this and more. Okay, so let's start with conjugate. What is conjugate of sword? Now, if you're given a sword, for example, let's say you're given, okay, first of all, solution. Let's say you're given the root of A minus the root of B. Now, the conjugate is equal to the root of A plus the root of B. So basically, the conjugate of sword is just, it has to do with what? The signs changing. So you have the sword given to you in a negative sign, and the conjugate is the same sword, but the sign changes to what? Positive sign. So this is the conjugate of what? This sword. Now, what is rationalization of what? Sword. Now, to rationalize a sword, for example, let's say we're given 2 root 3. How do we rationalize it? Also very simple. Just use the denominator. This is the numerator of the sword, and this is what the denominator of the sword. So what we're going to do is just basically the denominator multiplies the numerator and also multiplies the denominator. So this is it. So 2 divided by root 3 times a root of what? 3 divided by what? The root of 3. So this is now equal to, now 2 multiplied by root 3 is equal to 2 root 3 divided by, now very important, root 3 multiplied by root 3 is equal to root 9, and root 9 is equal to what? 3. So this is now what? 3. Now finally, this is what the rationalization of what? This sword. Okay, so this having explained, I want to start with what the example, particularly the first example. Also, so if we have the root of x multiply the root of x, this gives us x because of this particular example that I just did. We have the root of 3 multiplied by the root of 3. That gives us what? 3. Okay. And also, in rationalizing this particular example, in solving this particular example, there's something very unique that I want to point your attention to, which is the difference of 2 squares. The difference of 2 squares. If you recall, a minus b in a bracket multiplies a plus b in a bracket is equal to a square minus b square. So in solving this particular question, in solving these questions, we are going to encounter something like this. So instead of opening the brackets, we'll just go straight to what? Squaring the individual a and the individual what? B, as the case may be. So let's now go straight into what? The examples. Rationalize 2 root 3 plus 3 root 2 all divided by 3 root 2 minus 2 root 3. So like I said, now to rationalize means to use the denominator and multiply the numerator and also multiply the same denominator again. But in this case, we are going to change the sign. So we'll find the conjugate of this denominator, which is what? Here the sign is going to change, right? Then we'll use that to multiply what? The entire sword. So I'll put this in bracket and I'll put the times here. Also put this one in bracket. So I now have the denominator, which is 3 root 2 plus, not minus again, 2 root 3 divided by 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3, close bracket. So this is the conjugate of the denominator. So you can see the conjugate multiplies the numerator here, which is also the conjugate multiplies the denominator. So we just do the multiplication process gradually. So this first root multiplies the first root, also the first root multiplies the second root. Then when we are done with that, we'll go to the second root to multiply the first one, and also multiplies what the second one. All right. So now this implies 2 root 3 multiplies 3 root 2. So first of all, 2 multiplied by 3 is what? 6. So I'll put that in bracket and I'll write my roots. Now root 3 multiplied by root 2 is equal to root 6. That's 2 times 3 is 6 2. We have 6. Also 2 multiplied by 2 here plus 2 there is what? Plus 4. Root 3 multiplied by root 3 is root 9, and root 9 is what? 3. So this is multiplied by 3. So I'll throw this one. Let's now move to this. Now 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. There's a plus, so we have 9. Also root 2 multiplies root 2. Gives us what? 2. That's times what? 2. Now 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. So I have a plus 6. Also root 2 multiplied by root 3 gives us root 6. So this is it. So put my long division. So this is what I was talking about. That had to do with what? The difference of two squares. We have a minus here and we have a plus here. So this, you can see this as what? A. 3 roots 2. So we have a 3 root 2 here, we have a 3 root 2 here. So this is A, this is A. And this is B, this is B. So since they are the same, what we are going to do is we square the first A and square the B. That's all. So put this in bracket. We have 3 root 2 square minus 2 root 3 all square. Okay. So this is now we have 6 root 6 here and we have 6 root 6 here. Now 6 root 6 plus 6 root 6 gives us what? 12 root 6 additions of surd. So this is 12 root 6 plus. Now 4 times 3 is what? 12 plus 9 times 2 is 18. So we have 18 here. Okay. Now the denominator, the square of 3 is what? Is 9. Square of 3 is 9. And the square of this root is what? 2. So 9 times 2 is what? 18. So we have 18 here minus. Now the square of 2. The square of 2 is what? 4. And this is what? 3. 4 times 3 is what? 12. So we have 12 here. So this is basically, this implies. Okay. So 12 plus 18 is 30. So this is now 12 root 6 plus 30 all divided by, if you subtract this, you have 6. So this is what? 6. So we now have 12 root 6 divided by 6 plus 30 divided by 6. Now 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is what? 2. 6 divided by 6 there is what? 1. And 30 divided by 6 is what? Is 5. So finally our answer is 2 root 6 plus 5. That is our answer. So we have a 2 root 6 plus 5 as our answer to the first surd, which is this one. So I am just going to what? Clean this, and we'll start with the second one immediately. Is the root of 6 plus 2 root 5 all divided by 4 minus 3 root 6. So if we multiply by the conjugate, we now have 4 plus 3 root 6, all divided by 4 plus 3 with a root of 6. So close bracket. Also, the multiplication process is to use this to multiply everything here and use this to multiply everything here. So we have 6 root 6 multiplied by 4 gives us, this implies, gives us what? 4 root 6. 4 root 6. Okay. Root 6 again multiplied by 3 root 6. Now 6 times 6 is what? 36. So that is the same thing as what? That's 3 times what? 6. Okay. Now 2 multiplied by 4 is what? 8. So we have 8 root 5. Now root 2 multiplied by 3 here is what? 6. Now root 5 multiplied by root 6 is what? Root 30. So we have 6 root 30. Okay, so draw a line straight, and this is also what? The difference of two squares. So we have this as what? 4 minus open bracket 3 root of 6 square. Okay, so 4 root 6 plus 3 times 6 is what? 18 plus. So this is what? 8 root 5 plus 6 root 30. I'll draw my line. Now 4 square is what? 16. 4 square is 16, and 4 square gives us what? 16 minus. Now 3 square is what? 9, and the root of 6 square is 6. So 9 times 6 is what? 54. So I have 54. So this is basically equal to, this is 4 root 6 plus 18 plus 8 root 5 plus 6 root 30, all divided by, if you subtract this, you have minus 38. So basically, if we divide everything by what? 2. If you reduce everything by 2, we now have this is 2 root 6 plus 18 divided by 2 is 9, plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have 4 root 5 plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we have 3 root 30. So this is divided by minus 19. So this is our final answer to this particular question. So the final question is m plus n root 2 close bracket open bracket 1 minus 2 square is equal to minus 2 plus 2 with the root of 2. So the basic question here is to find the value of what? M and n. What is m and what is n? Okay, so the first thing to do in solving this particular question is to multiply this to know what exactly it is, and before we go into other things. So this is what this implies. There are 2 brackets here. So the first one is this minus 1 minus root 2 and 1 minus what? Root 2. So 1 multiplies 1 is what? 1. 1 multiplied by minus 2 is minus root 2. That's 1 multiplied by minus root 2 gives us minus root 2. And minus root 2 multiplied by 1 gives us minus root 2. So that minus root 2 multiplies minus root 2 is plus 2. So this is now equal to, now if I bring, this is plus 1 and this is plus 2. If you add them together, you get what? 3. So this is basically 3 minus, you can see we have a root 2 here and we have a root 2 here. So this is 2 root 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the expression and write this here. So this is now m plus n root 2, and in the bracket I have this 3 minus 2 roots 2, close bracket, to be equal to minus 2 plus 2 root 2. So what we are going to do here is to divide both sides by what? Here, this one. So we divide through by 3 minus 2 root 2. I'm putting it in bracket, divide by 3 minus 2 root 2. Okay, okay, close bracket. Okay, so now this cancels because they are the same, and we finally have m plus n root 2 to be equal to. So this now is our basic focal point. This is what we are going to focus on. So we rationalize this, and we have something like this as minus 2 plus 2 root 2 divided by 3 minus 2 root 2 in bracket, close bracket, multiplied by 3 plus 2 root 2 divided by 3 plus 2 root 2, close bracket. Okay,